Yeah, that's good. Kind of
Yeah.
because you're gonna hear the chime in just a minute here.
She's great in it.
I think 2 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the headline now.
Everything from Nicole on vacation. I don't need to go passing concepts. Yeah. That might be it. That'd probably be
No, I was solo. One or two came from my school. Yeah, it is.
No, it's
A lot of places, when they're there, they'll do a free visit. Corporal town, and what was the needs, and so benefit of a couple of years. Mayor, please. I just grabbed some corporal town, had 10% when I started, so you companies in the last 30. Agility.
Like on the outside.
We'll call tonight's council meeting to order. I want to bring to your attention that we have a change on the agenda in the closed session. The attorney-client privilege information has been added, and there was 2 of those added, and we're going to combine those into one 20-minute closed session is what our plan is. So just, if you got the new agenda, that's what that'll be. So, Mandy, would you take the roll call, please?
Lloyd Luttrell,
Present.
Charlene Abel,
present.
Kent Miller,
Present.
Bob Richard,
Present.
Robert Peterson,
Present.
Matt Audie,
Present.
Tony Gingler,
Present.
Rick Brown.
Yep. Thank you. If you'd stand with me for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather and to discuss the business of our community, and be with us to give us the wisdom to make the proper decisions that will benefit our community the most. Be with us as we go out through this week, and give us some moisture as we move into the growing season out of this winter. Be with our law enforcement as they protect us in our local community. Be with our armed services as they serve us around the world and here in the States, keeping us safe. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lloyd, do you have anything
this evening?
Probably I should, but I do it right now. Oh, I do. When I was walking in, I noticed that our sign had been replaced, and I had one of them.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah. I believe it needs to be pointed out to our city staff and the local media, the public at large, and even other members of this council, that we hold regularly scheduled public meetings for a reason. Namely being that all formal ordinance and general policy is to be set by formal vote of the council, and not by just one individual member who feels particularly impassioned about a specific issue. Additionally, we have a city administrator whom is tasked with setting the agenda, a mayor who is tasked with keeping order and running a smooth meeting. We should afford them the respect of their positions and allow them to continue to do so. Just because one counselor may choose to speak for a lengthy amount of time with the apparent consent of the mayor, or even outside this room without a response from another council member, it should not be misinterpreted that the counselor doing so has the formal support of the full council. Only formal votes speak our collective mind as a city. For the most part, when I am being silent, I am more than likely trying to be polite and allowing others to take in what is being said without hearing the additional clutter of my own words. As for me, it is my long-held position that the city of Beloit should always shop local first when possible. I strongly hold this view, especially when all the other factors which go into buying a good or service like price, quality, and convenience are equal between competitors. If a local business owner chooses to discriminate against doing business with the city of Beloit, then that business has clearly made a choice which I can only assume is right for that business. And I would honor that business's right to refuse our business. And hope that the initial civic policy dispute that may have caused that does not intensify into a more personal dispute. I will not support any policy change which would target any individual or business for retribution, especially when that business is exercising their hard-won constitutional rights to speak freely. The act of boycotting or sending our business to one's competitors should be more than adequately a self-incurred consequence for any business that may wish to grind their axe against the city of Beloit. That being said, I will also not be bullied by any business into working against the best interests of the citizens of Beloit. We have property rights as well. Proper zoning has the same effect as good fences between neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Charlene?
Nothing.
Kim? Rick? Bob? Tony?
Oh, I've got lots of things.
Okay.
I've got lots of things. I come on board here, about one of the first things I hear is that the employees are, shall we say, intimidated by the council for fear of retribution. Some of it may be rightfully so. In this case, I think it's pretty clear that we're talking about Mr. Richards here. Quite disappointed. He's definitely entitled to his opinions, and he can be very verbal sitting up here with his opinions. But to run around and to try to bully and intimidate our employees, I don't much appreciate it. And to our employees, I really don't want to have to deal with this, but if you feel that that's being done, come talk to me. Surely we can work this out and handle him. Okay? Surely we can come up with a solution to handle him. Secondly, again, Mr. Richards. How come we're out there trying to broker real estate deals without the city council's knowledge or approval?
I don't know what you're talking about on either count.
You haven't been talking to property owners and trying to entice them to sell their property to the city of Beloit? Saying that the city of Beloit's offering X amount of dollars? And
Hell no.
could offer more?
Who told you that?
Where'd you get?
And I don't know who in the hell I'm bullying, but you got your wires crossed, buddy.
Okay, let's keep this.
Okay.
the only thing I'd like to say is that VFW had their breakfast Sunday and we had 520 people there. And thank you for coming down and helping, and some of the council people for participating in the breakfast. We really appreciate it. And we'd like to have more people come down on the third Sunday every month. That even includes the minister. If you'd like to come, I'd pay you breakfast for him.
It's always good.
It's nice that you folks do that.
I do have something to say now.
Okay.
I categorically deny anything Tony's saying because I don't have a clue what he's talking about. I've never talked to a city employee or fully did that. And I sure as hell haven't told anybody that we want to buy their property. I don't. So that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Katie, do you have anything at this time?
Couple things. Code, we still have no code. It's coming, I promise, from the league, what they tell me anyway. So hopefully in February. If you remember right, we passed an update to the rental inspection ordinance, rental registration. That period ends January 31st. So that's just kind of a code enforcement reminder to the city. And Chris and I have been working on, obviously there will be some violators to that, probably people that are opposed, so we're working on how to handle those that do not properly register their rental properties. Thought I had something else, but that's it for now. If I think of it, I'll tell you later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Clint, do you have anything for us at this time?
Yeah, I do. I have a number of things, but let's start off here on kind of positive note. We have a new police officer with us here this evening. I know Chief Elam would like to introduce him to the council and the community, so I know he's here tonight. So if you want to come on up here. Or...
Oh, I keep it here from back here. I'm good.
We want to see
This is our new officer candidate, Kevin Albright. He comes to us through Newton via New York, apparently.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna start out with us, and we're gonna try to get him in the academy as soon as we can. I still try to get you guys introduced to our new guys, even though that's not part of our thing anymore. But he's our newest officer, and he'll be around. So this is your city councilman, your governing body, Mr. Luttrell, Mr. Audi, Ms. Abel, Mr. Miller, the mayor's Tom Nas, Rick Brown, the governor, and Bob Richards, Tony Gingler, and Bob Peterson. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
See him around, you'll know who he is, sir.
Okay, Glenn, back to you.
All right. Heather, do you have anything new on the housing to talk about?
Sure.
Before I go off into mine here. I'm thinking about it.
Sure. The housing board, well, yeah, Ken can help me out if I forget anything. The housing board did meet. We had 22 demo applications turned in and 23 rehab applications turned in to date. The housing board decided the first round, we will start with, I think, 8 rehabs and 9 demos. Am I right? Yeah. We know we'll be able to do more, but the demos are contracted out all by one contractor, so it's, one person takes all, so we figured 9 was maybe a good number to start with there. We hope to be able to do a few more of that. And then for the housing rehab, kind of the same way. We'll send the inspectors out, we'll start with those first 8, and we know we'll probably be able to do at least 12, probably closer to 15 on rehabs, because a lot of the first 8 have some landlord matches that go along with them. So we'll have some extra money there that we kind of didn't expect. So that could either go back into more rehabs or back into more demolition. So like we thought, it was a pretty positive project. We had lots of applications turned in. Obviously, we can't do them all, but we hope that means that we'll have enough interest to possibly, if it goes well and you guys are all for it, to apply again the next go around. So we're anxious to get started. We will bring this back before the city council for your approval once the inspections go out, once the bids go out. There is a mandatory contractor meeting, so the contractors have to come to that. And once all that's done and we kind of have a set schedule, then we bring that back before you guys again.
Heather,
Yes.
A question. The contractors, do some of those come through regional planning?
Yes, everybody will come through regional planning.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and they kind of already have a base of people that they work with.
Yeah.
You know, with the different communities that they're doing it in.
Mhm.
We're pretty concerned here just because the level of work our contractors are already doing because of the storm. So, you know, we're fingers crossed that we can get enough people to bid on these just because they're busy, which is a good thing for the community, but it might not be such a great thing to get a timely project done, but.
But they also have contractors out of Salina and
Yeah.
different places like that that they do.
And people that are used to doing it. But it's still a good call for contractors to come in. You know you're gonna get paid if you come do some of these jobs, so. Anything else?
Anything else on the housing? Yes, sir.
Will those projects be inspected the same as any other projects that are in town that aren't having nothing to do with the housing project?
You mean-
Or do they have their own inspector?
Yeah, actually, they do. I mean, they're inspected by,
Whose rules do they go by?
but the block grant rules, federal rules. They have to comply with their rules and
For
regulations.
electrical and plumbing?
Yeah, theirs are actually thicker than, I mean, their rules are gonna be much more actually stringent than ours are to access that money, so.
Yeah, it's what's the international building?
Yeah, whatever.
They have to follow all that.
Yeah, they're actually pretty more strict on, but I guess, I don't know who has inspection on that.
They're employed through North Central Regional Planning. They have, I think, 3 inspectors. I don't think any of them actually live local, but they have 3
Yeah, I don't
inspectors
know
that do all their
anybody
work for
that'd
them.
be qualified here to do that. So, yeah, they have their own inspection regime that they'll do when they're done with that project. And like Heather said, the intent is, this is first round, we're gonna apply for another round coming up here, which would be the same type of grant, be another $400,000 block grant. It'll be the same thing with rehab and demo, so we'll go through the exact same process. We can't do it right now because we have 2 block grants. We have the housing one, and we also have the downtown rehab, which I know they're moving along the windows and the masonry on that. We're gonna have an inspection kind of tour here this week, Wednesday or Thursday this week. I'm not sure when exactly Doug's gonna schedule that, so we're making progress on that one too. But since we have 2 of those, you can't have 3 block grants at one time. So as soon as we're done with the downtown rehab one, we'll turn around and apply for another housing one. You can have 2 housing ones that go back to back, so.
How long is this one going on? What's the deadline on it?
I'll find out tomorrow though, and if you wanna come on the tour, we'll invite you along. We can see what,
I got other plans for tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
Might be
But you
Thursday.
can call me. You got my
Okay,
phone number.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, all
I
right.
waited for a call this past week, 2 weeks, and I haven't got one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when they got a deadline on that, but anyway. So anyway, that's with the downtown rehab. Comprehensive plan, the planning commission did meet on the 13th, and their next meeting is going to be February 10th, where they do have a public hearing, and they will consider a final draft of the comprehensive plan. And once they're done with that, it will come to the council here, so probably sometime in February. And like Katie said, we're still waiting for the final draft of the codification from the league. Out here out front, you notice that the sign is back on Memorials. They get that to us here today. Got that installed. And we're waiting on some estimates for the damage that was done to the front ramp out there. So that's still kind of combed off there. You probably noticed that. And we did get some news today that on the hail damage front, guys are roofing may start with the weather being spring-like out there. They may actually start doing some work here going forward on that. And also, we have the airport runway expansion project still going here. They've been delayed a little bit because of all the federal wrangling with the budget 2 years ago, which affected them, put them behind. But we should be getting a contract to go out for bid on that here shortly on that too. K-14, we're going to address an executive session because we're into the acquisition phase on that here, so we'll bring you up to date on that. Out here on the north campus, I think Stuart's ready to go out for bid here as far as the streets go on that whole thing.
Have the bid been let?
Not yet. I know he's got the final documents ready to go. So he said sometime here late January, so we'll get him out there, so he's ready to go with it.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I think we're right on time with that one, so. Anyway, all right, anything else? A lot of construction projects going on, either for us or other people, private businesses, of course, doing their things. Casey's still doing theirs, and we'll get Dollar General here shortly too. We'll start when the weather breaks, so a lot of good stuff happening.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Glenn.
Okay.
I want to bring up, since David, one of these officers is here, earlier we discussed how he's one of the safest cities in the state of Kansas, and so we can attribute that to these gentlemen back out there in the audience for the work that they do, and gentlemen, it is appreciated, so wanted to pass that on to you while you're here with us. So don't get to see you guys a lot, so just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for that and keep up the good work. So.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda and for January 6th meeting and appropriations 1B. Boy,
On the minutes, I want to put the fourth paragraph where it's council reports. It says Councilor Peterson read it, if he could attend, is that supposed to be could not?
I think it's
what was that again, Carl?
Yes. On the fourth paragraph from the top. It says Councilor Peterson regretted that he could attend. I think that's supposed to be not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
That he could not attend,
Okay.
it's could.
Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes and the consent agenda.
With the amendment of the could not.
Plus, yes,
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Miller that we approve the consent agenda and the minutes with the addition of could not attend. Second by Councilman Brown.
I have a question.
Sure.
On page 5 of 8, there's an entry for Pat Cruz, for the concrete slab, the new hangar for $833. I understand he's a city employee, correct? Can you tell me why we're paying him?
He's also a contractor.
The contract did that in the zone, to do that.
So we couldn't have him do that on city time?
No, we have too many other things going on, so he, I believe Travis found somebody to put in that for him out there. That comes out of the airport budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Madam, would you take a roll call, please?
Abel,
Yes?
Gaylord,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yep.
Brown,
Yep.
Latrell,
Yes.
Miller, Audie,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2015-3, the fee schedule. This is the fee schedule for 2015. Questions, comments?
One question, Ronnie, did we get all the changes in that you, or do you have anything to add?
We've got one thing I might comment here on. Let me get turned to the right page here. We started a new fee schedule for hooking up electric services after hours. It's one of those things we really didn't want to do, but here a while back, we caught somebody hooking one up on their own on a Saturday. And I thought maybe for liability part, we'd put this in there so they have an alternative. It's not cheap, but if we go out after hours, we're gonna have to pay overtime. And I thought maybe it might be the way of solving that. And if we catch them doing it, once we got this here in place, then we'd come to the council and see what we want to do at that point. We'd rather not have anybody
work on our hot wires without our knowledge, or at least doing it ourselves.
Somebody climbed a pole.
They did it on the house.
So there was a meter already present?
Well, they cut the meter out and put a new one in.
On their own?
On their own.
They had one of our new meters there?
Well, they had the meter can there, one of our new ones, and our new meters. They just pulled it out, changed the socket, and put a mast up, then put the meter back.
Doesn't that become a police issue?
It probably should have, but I didn't want to push the issue with it, but I will from here on out.
But
I
we
think
don't,
moving forward, we need to.
yeah, we don't need to cover anything in here regarding that.
No, I voted on it, put this in here as a fee resolution to do it after hours, so they do have an option. We do have people on standby, and that'd be willing to go out there and do it. But it costs the city overtime to have that done, and I'm gonna treat that just like anything else. If we gotta go out after hours because somebody wants us to do it, they're gonna pay for it. But if it's emergency, we go out there, we're gonna do it for nothing.
These people were actually stealing, getting free electricity.
They weren't getting free, they was just getting by without the permit,
Okay.
so. It's probably done a lot, this is just one we accidentally
Matt?
Ronnie, I just want to be clear, if we pass this fee schedule, we're not going back and changing the fees that we've already agreed upon in previous contracts, correct?
No.
Okay, because.
We're just adding one. I did change it a little bit on street lighting. Inside, it stayed the same. Outside, we added 10% to it.
The reason I asked that is I had a contractor who will remain nameless that was concerned that the city staff was trying to go back and use the new fee schedule to change prices that we've already been contractually agreed upon. And I just want to emphasize, we don't want to be breaking any contracts with contractors that we've already agreed upon a price.
I think I may know the one you're talking about. We had a ordinance voted on in 1999.
Uh-huh.
And that's how this guy is getting caught, because he did have a price from us and a date. And at that particular time, he didn't fall under this new ordinance where we charge him for the material. And we're not doing that. But we had a fee schedule in there that was legitimate in 1999 that he fell under. And so we're sending that fee schedule. And he's getting the old fee schedule too instead of the new one.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Well,
I'm
you
good.
gave it to me before.
Yeah, I
That we
know,
approve
but that's that.
resolution 14-3.
Motion's been made by Councilman Latrell that we pass approved resolution 24-3 fee schedule. Do I have a second? I have a second from Councilman Peterson. Do I have any further discussion?
Just to clarify, that's 2015-3.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, it's wrong on here.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all on here, but it's right over here. So, yeah, 2015-3. Mandy, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Latrell,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Ingham,
Yes.
Abel,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes,
Brown,
Yep.
Miller,
Yes.
Audie.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries. Passes. Next on the agenda is the formal action. We have the Nordic Box pad bid from Chris Davis in the amount of $9,409.19. And this is for the North Campus, Floyd Elementary School, and the Spencer Pearson building. Questions or comments for staff? Floyd?
Yeah, on the bid that we say we're not accepting because it wasn't what was requested. On the estimated time of delivery, it says see attached sheet, and I didn't find an attached sheet either for that one.
Okay, the low one did meet the bid, okay? There's a
So did you
Nordic,
throw it out?
no. I didn't put it in there because it did meet the bid, and I put the reason why in there. Maybe I should have brought that to you.
That was a specification issue, you're saying?
Yeah, he didn't meet the bids. We was bidding the Nordic 350, and he bid the Nordic 150, and I called him about it, and he didn't have time to get it straightened out. And he understood it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to pass the Nordic body pad bid. It's been moved by Councilman Richardson.